Mahoney. Nels works at P&M Resources. He's a QA architect. His primary role is to protect quality assurance and root cause analysis. Project. Look at that, protect. Project, because it's little words. He's a CMQOE, a PMP, a CSQE, and lots of other stuff.
Yeah, lots of good alphabet.
Cool. Welcome, Nels.
My boss is in the room, so don't beat me up too bad. But this is my presentation is going to be a little freewheeling and fun, so feel free to ask questions, interrupt. It won't take all that long. Anybody know what this is?
I've seen one, but
A valve.
No, it's software quality motivator. It's
Oh.
got a variety of tools. But
Pulaski, what firemen use.
An
axe? It's sort of like an axe, but they can use it to get into doors and stuff. It's called a Pulaski.
No, I'm afraid this is not a Pulaski.
She dates firemen.
Does she Well, this is a specialized tool. It's made by Mac Tools, a company I worked for years ago. And it's used for, if you ever remember the old 57 Chevys with those big curves in the fenders and stuff like that. When you crunch into something, you use this to knock the dents out. And so it's a very specialized hammer. Kind of like Load Runner is. And my topic is using Load Runner for more than just load performance testing. And this, while this is a specialized hammer for knocking out dents out of 57 Chevys, you got a nice flat metal side here. You could use it to pound lots of other things with.
Can I use it to get my kids to do their homework?
It depends how much my children aren't terribly terrified by it because they know it's a false threat. But it works really well. It works really well with developers who aren't familiar with American concepts. It's like, oh, well, okay. I don't know if you're teasing me or not. But this is a specialized tool that we use in different ways. How many people are familiar with Load Runner as a concept? No. Okay. Well, then you'll get a little bit of a refresher. You'll get a little bit of introduction to Load Runner once we get there. So, summary. Load Runner is a product by HP Mercury. HP bought Mercury about 5 years ago. Load Runner is their premier performance tool to verify that applications can work correctly with predicted load. I used to work in Ohio before I got moved out here and got it out here. And we had a company there that you're all familiar with called Victoria's Secret.
Yeah.
Victoria's Secret opened up their website and they had that first lingerie fashion show. Website crashed because it got a little too much traffic.
I was
And so one of the things that they did the next year, and I didn't work for them, I worked for DSW Shoes at that time, making fine shoes for many people, is they tested the site. They said, well, we scaled it to support 10,000 people. We had 100,000 people. We need to make sure the website will work with 100,000, 200,000, 500,000 people downloading this graphically dense packages of data from one server in central Ohio. So they built Load Runner to test those kinds of scenarios. They could sit there and say, okay, maybe we put 12 sites around the country to support this load volume. So it's not having to go all the way from Ohio out to Los Angeles, up to New York, over to Europe, wherever all the customers were, they're hitting the site.
Every prison in the country.
Yeah. Every 13-year-old boy.
50-year-old.
See, that's the kind of thing we need to have.
He knows too much about this story.
Well, it was a big topic of conversation in Ohio, especially around web performance, because you had a legitimate reason to study it. But
It flopped when they went to wearing those stupid feathers.
they still sell them off. They pay for a lot of nice things in Ohio with that facility. But what else can this tool be used? This tool is kind of expensive. It's really kind of expensive. What else can the tool be used for? At P&M, we don't really have an e-commerce presence. You can't really go on our website and buy electricity from us. You can pay the bill, but you can't really order. We can't have a sale because we're a regulated utility. So what do we use it for? My bio, just to go over it again because I had it in here. I've been on P&M for about 2 years. I used LoadRunner for about 4.5, 5 years, depending on who you talk to. I've got a whole bunch of certifications, says I know how to take tests. What's LoadRunner for? Just like we can see these pictures, I don't know if they show it very well. LoadRunner is great to say, how will we do when things get much heavier than planned? Here's a highway process where obviously they had a little problem with the traffic lights. Because all of a sudden these cars could no longer go this way because these cars, got stuck in the middle of the intersection. If you've ever been in downtown Rio Rancho at 5 o'clock, people get into the intersection, they go into the intersection even though they can't go forward to block the traffic. That means the next line of traffic can't go the other way, which just makes this big disaster of problems. This was obviously some kind of crash in the 1920s where you have armies of people going out hitting your business or your website or something like that. LoadRunner is designed just to do that. It's designed to simulate masses of people doing something. It's a great tool for predicting what if. Gives you great information about the user perspective. So when I'm a user, what's my average time to go from screen 1 to screen 2 to screen 3, to press the commit button to get a response back, to search a catalog, does that kind of stuff. Also gives us tremendous information about the server. How busy is our server? You see a performance lag. Is it because the web server, the application server, the database server, the load balancer, there's all that junk at the data center doing all this stuff. Which piece is broken? Which piece needs more capacity? LoadRunner can tell you. It's also very flexible. It allows for a thing called synchronization. So you can sit there and say, I want to run a process where every 20 minutes people do the stupid thing on the traffic where they block the traffic road. We don't want to do that test all the time, but periodically we want to see where people act a little strange. Or they all wait, like the Super Bowl, they wait till the commercial to go flush the toilet, or maybe now they wait till the game starts to go run to the bathroom because the commercials are what people watch. Those are the kinds of things you want to simulate with this tool. You can do multiple load generators, and a load generator is nothing more than a fancy term for a PC that's somewhere out there pretending to be multiple users. If anybody's heard the denial of service attacks, DNS attacks, kinds of things where people crash a website, Anonymous does this a lot. They're using a hacked type of LoadRunner to simulate tens, thousands, hundreds of thousands of users all going to CIA.gov. And the server can't handle all those requests for page loads, and it falls over dead. LoadRunner helps prevent that by predicting how you'll respond to that kind of volume. And you can run multiple concurrent scripts. So I can have a script that's doing, going out to Victoria's Secret, looking at the shoes, another one that's going out looking at the socks, another one that's going out looking at whatever other fine things Victoria's Secret sells.
Handbags.
Handbags, yes. Handbags. Lipstick. Their skin.
I don't think many people wear handbags.
Yes, they
Don't forget the
make
wings
shoes.
too.
The wings. I don't know if they sell the wings or not. But what else can LoadRunner do? It can also look for actual user experience, and what I'm going to be talking about today is problem investigation. So if we envision that we're in this lovely yellow taxi cab, I don't care what the average time to the airport is. I care about, when am I going to get to the damn airport? I've got to catch a flight and I'm stacked into all this traffic. LoadRunner lets you do that kind of investigation. Because you could do a study and sit there and say, how long will it take me to get to the airport if traffic volume on I-25 is X? X plus 25%, X plus 50%. Well, I don't care about the future. I want to know what's my average commute time today, where you're looking at the actual numbers in the system. So this is what we've done, is about 3 or 4 cases. We've used LoadRunner in a different way, like the hammer, the specialized hammer being used for a different thing. We've looked at it for trying to do more than just performance prediction. My first case study is a local electric utility in New Mexico. Gee, I don't know which one, just one of the many electric utilities in New Mexico. We had an issue that our customers, which are our users, our employees, are spread all over the state in little offices, Albuquerque, Silver City, Alamogordo, Pecos, wherever they have these facilities. We have people sitting there working, doing processing. Remote users, people not in Albuquerque or Santa Fe, were reporting poor performance in applications. It takes too long. It takes too long. Anybody that's ever worked in help desk has heard that complaint. The application's taking too long to load. I can't do my job. A lot of times they get Working fine for me, I don't know what you're talking about. You must be making it up, must not know what you're doing. So the question we asked was, how much does performance change based on where the user is? And so we created a set of transactions in our production environment that could be run from multiple locations under actual load. So during the business day, we could simulate and see what's real traffic time like from different locations. So created our lookup only script. So since we're in production, I don't have test data in production, I have live data in production. I'm only doing lookups on maybe system availability, things like that, things that are not impacting our users. Because I can't afford to crash production. You'll hear that a lot. I can't afford to crash production. But we also want to sit there as close to reality. So what are our users doing? What are our customer service reps doing for this work? We created 7 load generators, which are, once again, just machines that simulate users, ship them out to all the locations, ran the test, and analyzed the results. What we found,
You know,
yes, sir.
you're saying that those test, the use generators
Mhm.
can pulse the system as though it's real users and so forth,
Right.
but it doesn't load up the system enough to cause problems?
Well, it depends how you use it. This, in our environment, since I was testing in production, each machine only had 1 user on it. So I added 7 total new users into a system that had 200 active users in it already. So I didn't stress the system. Loader is designed to stress systems. That's really what it's built around, is to drive the system to its needs it wants to. It's designed to let you quickly add 10, 20, 100, 1,000 users to the system. Because I'm not using it in its traditional way, I'm saying I'm going to put in 7 extra users because I'm in production. So what we found is that you can guess where these locations are. They're pretty much in the big cities of New Mexico. I'd like to be this guy. Where
Probably
it's-
Aztec.
it's pretty far away from Albuquerque. But for a transaction that takes me sitting at my desk in downtown Albuquerque, 0.017 seconds to complete, almost 2/100ths of a second, it takes them almost 2 seconds. That's a big difference. All of a sudden it's like, whoa, you know what? They might have a point. Maybe there is a performance issue. So what they gave us is it gave telecommunications group, great justification for capital improvement. What's my cost benefit? How much are you going to save me to put a better phone line into this facility? I'm going to save you this much time. That really helped answer the justification and gave users information to make better decisions.
So, but does this actually narrow it down to the fact that it was the communication line as opposed to some other location-related aspect?
Well, we looked at, for this case, we were just trying to see what's the response time from the different locations.
Right.
And obviously there's 2 factors. One is distance, which I can't control. Speed of light is pretty much fixed. No matter how fast it is, I can't get it there any faster than fiber. But the connection type, maybe I go up from a lower grade connection to a better grade connection. Maybe I go up to fiber. We do this kind of adjustment to see what's the difference between these 2 locations. They're both probably about the same distance from our data center in downtown Albuquerque. Why is one so much poorer? Is the quality of the line? Is there static on the system? Do we have old hardware in place? Obviously there's an opportunity for improvement. My job in quality assurance and performance is not to solve the problem, but to give the information to let the engineers do the research, and then they come back to me and say, run that test again and see how it does. So we can measure our difference and start to see, did we fix it the right way? And that's what, because it's a script, it's just a dumb computer program, it just runs programs, it will do it the exact same way every time I want it to do. You can't get that from users with stopwatches. The phone rings, I forgot to click the stopwatch, I didn't like my data, so I lied and changed it. People are very fickle. It's also very hard to get people to test in the middle of the night at the same time. So if I want to run a test in production, and maybe production's a little sensitive, so I've got to run the test at 2 a.m., I can get up at 2 a.m. and run this test for 7 locations. It's pretty unlikely I'm going to get 7 people out of bed in the office at the same time to do a test for me, unless I've got really good justification.
And Nels?
Yes, sir.
Does Law and Order give you some insight into where that response time is? Is it, in the CPU? Is it database access? Is it network latency?
Yeah, you can do a lot of different analysis because it gives you client side and server side, so you can see where's the server load. You can connect it to the databases and the servers and actually see where your wait time is